4 races, 1 podium fight, my first top split race, a complete disaster, and a promotion to C class. In the last episode, I got my first podium, P3 in the GR86 Cup in iRacing. That was huge progress and really showed how well I had developed through the GR86 Cup on iRacing. And when I started the series, I had a iRating score of 1300. That is the point system for competitive racing in the iRacing simulator. And now I finished with an iRacing score of 1559. So that is massive progress. And if you want to continue to see my progress in this video, then please enjoy the first race. This is Becoming a Racer, where I'm documenting my journey from inconsistent chaos to competitive sim racing. Every race in this series is driven using my own self-built sim racing wheel prototype, and I'm calling that the Grip's Edge. And race 1, I started pretty strongly in P2, or I qualified quite strongly in P2, but had a terrible start and ended up in P4. As you can see, I had some pretty good battles. These guys were honestly really good to race with. It was hard battling. You can see they're not giving it up here. I'm not super excited about that, but it just makes for great racing. There was good pace all round, honestly, in the first race. And if you would like to see more sim racing, then please like, comment, and let me know what you want to see me drive next. But yeah, the start went really badly because I was ahead of P1, and so it made it more difficult to stay ahead. If P1 and P2 got a good start, then it would have been good for our pace. But by the end, I managed to fight back all the way up to P2, and then had another little crash. And this made me lose so many more places again. It was right back to the start, which was super frustrating. But, as you can see, I fought pretty hard. I had pretty good pace. My fastest lap of the race at the moment is a 1:08.988, which isn't too bad. The fastest lap is a 1:08.9, so I'm definitely in the mix. P1 and P2 have a 1:08.97 and a 1:09.092, so all of our paces up in the top were only split by a couple of tenths. So this was a really enjoyable race, despite the frustrations from my contact. I had a bit of what I would probably consider an illegal overtake off track, but I didn't get penalized for it, so obviously I wasn't going to give that up. And I have a pretty good overtake on one of the corners here. I think it's the third corner after the S's that really secures me in that P2 position, and that's where I managed to finish the first race. So I managed to gain 78 iRating and 0.04 safety rating for that, and had a pretty good average lap time to best lap. But race 2 was my first top split race. It was a completely different story. Top split means that you're racing against stronger drivers, so the competition's a lot harder. These guys are much faster. And as you can see, I qualified P10. So I went from qualifying in 2nd place to qualifying in 10th place. And it very quickly became obvious in the race how competitive these races are. This is racing against real people, and so top split means that the people are actually better at racing, which makes it much more difficult, because I didn't have the crazy pace, pace for P1 or P2 like I did in the previous race, and this was honestly really humbling. And if you would like to see more sim racing, then please like, comment, and let me know what you want to see me drive next. I thought I was honestly going to be pretty much on par with the guys up in the top split, and I wasn't. I was so far off. I was about a second off the pace, I believe. But you can see here the battles are still pretty good. We're both, or all of us here, are trying to fight pretty hard. And some people, like Ian Snar, I've raced with before. So there were some familiar faces. I think Lockie Delphin and Morgan Dial, I think maybe as well. There's a couple names in here who I'd raced with before. But you can see that the top pace is a 1:07.927. So I was 1 second off the pace in my fastest lap of the previous race. And you can see I still have another terrible incident. I managed to get up to 8th place, but I just knocked this guy out, and it really ruins the progress that I'd made, and I go all the way back down to P12. And this was really hard. I also, if you can see in the top left, I get a meatball flag. So that means I've been asked to return to the pits, which is fine. Someone spins out ahead of me, so I get 11. But I didn't actually have any damage, really. Like, I was driving fine, my pace was okay, it wasn't great. But as you can see here, I just got an overtake, and I didn't see the meatball flag. And if you don't know what a meatball flag is, then basically it means that you have to pit because your car's damaged. And if you don't pit within 3 laps, I think, then you'll get a penalty because your car's so damaged that it's going to be an issue to the other drivers around you, and it could be unsafe. So I had to pit, which I realized towards the end, and that put me all the way back down to 19th place, which is dead last. And so that was a pretty disappointing race. I didn't have anyone, like I couldn't catch up to anyone, and so I finished in P19. And there's a replay of the issue that I had where I just absolutely destroyed the guy behind, which was my bad. But somehow, I still got promoted to C class. Now, in iRacing, the licenses that you have allow you to race in different series. So now I've unlocked the GT4 cars and the Porsche Cup cars and the V8 supercars. But race 3 was another completely different story. Race 3 did not go to plan. Race 3 did not go to plan. I wasn't in the top split this time, or I was in the top split this time, and I managed to qualify in P7, which was pretty good. I was pretty happy with that pace that I was able to have in quali. P7, top 10 in top split, I was happy with that. Yeah, no, exactly, it's not. And the racing was actually quite tight. I very much enjoyed the racing. It was, you know, the racing in the top split is a lot more competitive, but not just that, it's cleaner when it comes to close quarters racing. If you come into a corner, then there's less chance of you getting attacked and kind of span out. And so that was really, really enjoyable to be able to race close combat or close quarters racing with other people. And if you haven't done so already, please hit the like button if you're enjoying the video so far, and subscribe if you want to see more racing in my iRacing journey. I'm trying to become a very, very fast and good racer while building my own hardware, so it's a bit of a unique journey. But here is where I picked up a cone. And in the Miami Cup, if you pick up a cone on the back straight, you will lose about 1.5 seconds of your pace. So I was in P7, which in top split I was pretty happy with. P7 was not bad. But as you can see, on the straight, I get overtaken because I'm a whole second behind. It means that my acceleration out of corners is slower. And what's annoying is if you watch the replay of where the cone is, it is stuck inside of my bonnet. So it's actually a glitch. If you actually watch the replays, then the cone is actually stuck inside the car's bonnet. So it's a glitch in the game, which makes it really frustrating, because if you drive over a cone in real life, you're just going to drive over the cone. Luckily, there was a little bit of chaos. I was able to get ahead of some people, but I just went down and down and down when it comes to the pace, and that means that I got overtaken and overtaken and overtaken. But I was still kind of running off the confused high of being C-Class. You can see I'm really trying to defend here, but it doesn't even, like, mean much, because as soon as I get out of the corner, people can just speed up again and overtake. So it made it quite difficult to, and yeah, just quite frustrating. But I still had that, oh, I'm C-Class now, in the back of my head, which means maybe I should try and do some different races. One of the races that you unlock when you do C-Class is the Rain Masters series. And I don't know if you saw in my intro, but there was a bit of a rainy race. So it's a bit of a spoiler for the next race. But as you can see here, I'm definitely getting better. I only have 1 incident point, and yet I've been overtaken by many people. These guys overtook quite cleanly through a corner that normally there's contact, and in a previous episode I actually spanned someone out there. So 1 or 2 incident points for the type of racing I was doing and being in so much contact with different races. Honestly, I was pretty proud of that. What would I call it? The self-control to be able to let people by, defend when I needed to defend, and try and attack when I needed to attack was pretty good. Hey guys, if you're still watching right now, I just wanted to cut in and say thank you. I was probably repeating myself, and so I had to cut some audio out here. But if you're still watching at the 10-minute mark, thank you so much for showing your support to a new channel and watching my racing journey and my hardware building journey. So yeah, I just really wanted to pop in here and say thank you. It really means a lot. Now, please enjoy the rest of the race, and the next one coming up is quite exciting. So you can see I finished P16. I lost 37 iRating, which brings me back down to 1,549, but I gained some safety rating. Then, for some reason, the final race of the episode, we decided to do something completely different. Alex and I decided to join a rain race. Now, we have never driven this track. We've never driven in wet conditions. And I don't know if you notice up ahead, but there's BMW M2s. And behind us, there's Mazda MX-5s. This is the first multi-class race of the series. And you might be wondering, why would you do a multi-class race in the rain? If you don't know what multi-class is, it means there's multiple different classes of vehicles. So we had the Toyota, a BMW, and a Mazda. And the multi-class races are always more chaotic. You've got the BMWs, which are very tail-happy. You'll kick the back out on acceleration because they've got a little bit more power, but they're heavier. Then you've got the GR86s, which are, as you can see, there's quite a bit of chaos. But the GR86s are quite planted, slow cars. They're almost like an upgraded MX-5, where you have to have pretty good pace and pretty good... where you don't have to have too much control to keep them on the road, despite what my last episodes may have looked like. But learning the rain physics in iRacing was actually pretty amazing. The rain in iRacing is almost exactly like real life. When you hit a big puddle, which I've never experienced in any other games, probably in Forza Horizon maybe is the closest thing I've felt on a controller, driving over a puddle. So driving over a puddle in this, you can feel the car aquaplaning, the wheels kind of digging down and losing pace. It was such a cool experience. I loved this race so much. Even though you'll see I'm not in the top 10, I'm having a pretty average race when it comes to speed. We were still learning the track, so I had to learn new braking points. I had to learn where the turn-in sections were, and I had to learn how the rain, makes a difference. But the other thing in iRacing is that the rain actually dries up. And so you can see here I take a different zone, or like a different brake zone, because I'm trying to learn the track, trying to get faster, and it doesn't work out. I lose 2 positions to that. But the rain in iRacing, it moves with the time of the race. So as more cars drive over the puddles, it moves the water and dries the track. It was such a cool thing to have in a race. I had so much fun, even though I wasn't very good. But it does completely change how you drive. You have to brake earlier. You have to be a lot smoother. I couldn't go like 100% brake pressure. I had to really ease on the braking, otherwise I'd just lock up. And same with the accelerator. You've already seen me correct a couple sections where my tail, kind of the back tires spin out a little bit and I have to counter steer. So that was something I had to be a lot more wary of. And the close quarters racing, and I didn't get it right. I had a few spin outs, but the close quarters racing in the rain, I don't know if iRacing makes it so that the amount of incidents that you get doesn't affect your safety rating as much. But racing close to another car in the rain was some of the most fun I'd had. It was just super enjoyable to be able to kind of feel like I was really in a car, and the feedback on the wheel was so much fun. But despite a few spins, some rough contact and some real eagerness to beat some people that were getting ahead of me, which resulted in a bit of contact, I was still able to have a pretty solid race. You can see I'm in 11th place or 10th place. And I overtook a couple BMWs, a couple Mazda MX-5s, and the BMWs are much, much faster than the GR86s. But it was a really, really enjoyable race, and I managed to finish in P10, which I know is a bit of a spoiler, but I managed to finish a rain race, first race ever, in position 10. That is something that I am super proud of. And you can also see that my pace, at the beginning of the race, it was about 1:32, 1:33. I managed to get the pace down, just from the race, to 1 minute and 28 seconds per lap, 1:28.5. The fastest race of the lap was a 1:27.3. So I was a second off the pace within one race of the GR86 in the wet. So that kind of shows how much I've learnt the car as well, because even taking it to a different track and a different situation with the grip, a different level of grip with the rain, I was still able to keep the pace quite strong and learn that pace quite quickly. So I was able to finish in the top 10, and I managed to get 11 iRating, which means that I didn't lose any. I think I might have lost 6 actually. I had 1,560 iRating at the end of this race and a safety rating of 3.41, so I did lose a little bit of safety rating, but I promoted, and so when you promote, you do lose it anyway. So honestly, it may not have been the best 4 races, but you know, this episode was a mix of progress, setbacks, new challenges, old challenges with the cone, but still racing clean enough to get my C-Class promotion and unlock new cars and new series that I can race in, and my first rain experience. These all added up to kind of another step toward feeling like I'm a better driver, to earning the next wheel, the next prototype wheel that I'm going to be making and that you can see through my shorts. So thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to check out the build shorts that I have if you want to see them, and watch my wheel slowly develop over time. So please subscribe, hit the like button, and I cannot wait to see you in the next video. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate the support and the comments that I receive. It really means the world to me. Definitely gives me extra motivation to continue to edit these videos, because they take forever to edit. These races go for half an hour and I have to cut them down into short little sections to make them viewable for you guys. So I really appreciate that. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next episode